Is May the 5th, and we are going through a sharpening session. I have a topic in mind, but as always, these sessions are Q&A. So you guys let me know on the chat box. I'm just making sure that I can see the chat box on YouTube and as well on the closed session as well. So you guys let me know if there's anything in particular that you say, I don't get this, I don't understand it, I watched a session the other day and this bit confused me, whatever it is, you guys let me know what it is. Otherwise, I will go through the topic that I had planned today, which is timeframes, looking at timeframes depending on which type of trader you are, what style of trader you are, and as well what timeframes you would use specifically for that and the choices that you have. So hopefully that makes sense. Hi. Thanks for joining us again today. I know you watch a lot of sessions, so welcome again. And again, Paul, let me know in the chat if there's anything that you have that you want me to go over specifically. But otherwise, we'll go into timeframes and we'll explain that. Now, first things first, whilst I give you guys a chance to type on the chat box, let's just cover the disclaimers. They should be highlighted there. There we go. So disclaimers, obviously important to understand disclaimers from a legal reason, to understand why it is. These kind of sessions are demonstrations of what you can do. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Doesn't mean that you have to do everything that we say. You can do something in between or ignore it entirely. Ultimately up to you. So my name's Becky. For those that might not know, my name is Becky Hayman. My email address is becky@traddictiv.com. There's also this link here. Yourself up with a free Trade with UFOs membership there, and then you'll get recordings of the sessions that we do, reminders of the sessions that we do, and you'll also have emails that come out every day where you have information on 5 of the major world markets, and you can come down here and log in and ask a question in a public space or a public setting. Now doing that means problem at the moment, unfortunately. It looks like I'm dropping a lot of frames, and perhaps that means I'm stopping a lot or the connection is bad. Let me know in the chat if the connection is bad. I will crack on so that you still get something out of it, but you guys let me know. And so just to explain the way these sessions work, I've already said hello. We are simulcasting. So that means we are streaming in different places, YouTube, Facebook, as well as in the closed. That after a certain amount of time, and normally it's not like a set amount of time, it's not like
that we've gone through, a methodology we've explained, a piece that's confusing that's explained for you. But if you're in the closed community, you get more of our time in that closed space for us to continue with further trades or further explanations. So that's what we'll be doing. I'll let you know at some point when we'll be doing that. Again, it depends on how this internet connection goes and whether or not that is a problem. Just seeing there from Paul, we are breaking up from time to time. So I've been staying at different places, different Airbnbs, different hotels, and every single place I have this problem where the internet drops, and I might do a speed test and it's absolutely brilliant, and then I get on a session and it's brilliant, and all of a sudden it drops out and there doesn't seem to be anything I can do about it. So I apologize if that is happening. I really try and do everything I can to make this as so bad that you can't understand. We carry on and we go through stuff. So let me know what you want to do. Okay, so I'll continue for now, just based on the fact that there will be a little bit of a delay before I get the answer anyway, of the AutoUFOs, which shows us, for example, if I double click on the UFOs here, and I click yes to customize. How often does price hit a buy UFO and then hit a sell UFO, or hit a sell UFO and then hit a buy UFO? Those UFOs, as we know, are not at set ratios between each other. They're going to be at different places. Let me just see there. If I looking at the session here and wondering whether or not it's dropped. Again, let me know in the chat what's going on there. So when we look at these UFOs, they could be 1 to 1 away, 2 to 1 away, 5 to 1 away, 10 to 1 away. So in terms of how much money you make is not necessarily reflected by this, because that's going to depend how far the UFOs are from each other. Close we are, or how often we hit these other UFOs. So with that in mind, we want to understand which timeframes perhaps, or which markets perhaps, offer us the best probability. UFOs will show up on every timeframe on every market. So if we've got loads of choices to be made, i.e. which timeframes do I use, which markets do I look at, we can use this number to help us figure out which one is going to be best. Which is our timeframes per style. Now, first things first that we need to understand is that depending on which style you are, intraday, swing, position, or investor, will depend on which timeframes you then use. If you use a different color. So all of these timeframes are relative to the style of trader. Now, the style of trader is something that you guys are going to have individually. It's going to be something that is unique. You are trading intraday, but you're a person that actually needs to think about things and analyze things for a little bit longer, and you're trading intraday because you think that's what you need to do, trust me, you will struggle, because you will be trading a style that does not fit your personality, it doesn't fit your time availability, it doesn't fit the way that you think or feel about risk. If you're an investor and you're investing into things long term, or position trading where you have to wait weeks, months, years to see what happens on a trade, but you're a person that's impulsive and impatient, trust me, you will struggle, because you'll be forcing yourself to do something that doesn't fit with the way that you are as a person, doesn't fit with your personality, doesn't fit with the way that you think about things. So first things first always is understand the type of trader that you are. So let's say intraday trader. Intraday traders are expecting to have results quickly. We're going to be trading for a specific amount of time, ideally at market opens or perhaps market closes. That tends to be when you have the most movement. You want to be out of the trades before you close that session, because things change. maybe you've lost them, but you're in and out by the end of the day, you know what's happening. That requires you to be more strict on your time, requires you to be able to analyze things quicker and more decisive. So it's pros and cons, depends who you are as a person as to what you think makes more sense. If you're a swing trader, swing trading suggests that you are waiting for trades to happen over days to weeks. Now, if you're waiting for trades to happen over days to weeks, maybe sometimes it could be a few hours, depends if the market's moving very quickly, then of course you're not going to sit down and look at the chart for days. You wouldn't sleep or eat or anything. So you're going to put in trades that may last longer. You're using bigger time frames. You're going to be hoping that your trades happen by the end of the week, perhaps. Maybe you put trades in on a Monday, and by the end of Friday, you know what's going on. Then we have position trading, which is kind of a longer term version of swing trading. So that's going to be definitely days, weeks, maybe months that you might be in a trade. And again, that means that you're not going to be looking at it all the time. You don't need to be so strict as to when you sit down, but you have to be more patient. It's going to take a longer period of time for your trades to happen, but it also means you don't have to be looking at it every day. Then we have investors. Investors might look at the charts once a month, once every few months, and they're expecting that to last for years and years and years. So again, you have to be more patient, but it's going to take less of your time. Pros and cons to all of them. But ultimately, it's up to you as a trader to decide which of them suits you best, which of them is the most likely to work for you. Now, let's say, and we're going to go through these one by one, let's say you've decided that you're could look at these two time frames. We're going to ignore the reactive for now, or you could look at these two time frames. Now, why are we giving you two different answers or two different sets of timeframes you could look at? That's because we have a customized version and we have a standard version. The customized version is using, you might notice if you know the numbers, Fibonacci numbers. All of these are Fibonacci numbers. Now, why do we do that? What's the point? We use that because usually, and we'll check with the tool that we were just looking at on TradeStation, usually these numbers, these Fibonacci numbers, are more likely to work, basically. And the reason for that is because they're more likely to be used by computer systems that are used by big banks and institutions. Fibonacci numbers are used a lot in our computing. And so if we're looking at slightly off time frames that are related to Fibonacci numbers that may be used by computers, then we're not looking at what all of the rest of the world are looking at, that are retail traders, which will be these ones, the standard ones that anyone can get on any platform. We're looking at ones that are slightly off, that the retail traders aren't looking at, but perhaps the institutional traders are looking at. So that's why we do it. It doesn't always work out better, but we'll look at the two sets. Now, it doesn't necessarily make a huge difference. And like I said, sometimes the standard sets of the timeframes will do better anyway. Depends on the market. So we'll check this out. If you don't have access to be able to have customized timeframes, but that's because you have to pay a subscription to TradingView to do it, or you don't have a TradeStation account or something like that, no problem. You can use the standard version. Again, it doesn't make too much difference, but we'll have a look there on the chart to see which ones make more. And then I guess we'll cut off and we'll continue in the closed group for position and investor. So let's take a look at TradeStation again. By the way, again, let me know in the chat box, guys. I know that there's internet issues and that it's dropping. You let me know if it drops too much, if it's too annoying, or if you're still following with me. Just let me know if you're still with me there. Okay. The 5-minute time frame, which is the standard one, gives us 43.32. So in the standard and pick the one that has the best probability rate and then do the rest of the methodology on that one. It means I don't use the same time frame every time, but I'm using the time frame based on objective data that tells me it has the better probability. So let's look cut this session off because for those of you that are watching live, that's going to be very annoying to watch that drop out for seconds, 10, 20 seconds at a time before you hear me talk for 30 seconds and then it drops out again. That must be extremely irritating. It's irritating on my side as well. It's annoying that we're experiencing this. So maybe let me know on the until I see something on the chat. Let me know if it's too bad, and we'll stop the session now. But you let me know. On the chat as well that they're so, in which case, if you can still hear me, if this is still streaming, if you're still understanding this, I apologise so much that this is a problem and that it happens when I do my sessions sometimes here. Like I said, I'm in Mexico, and it would appear that the infrastructure here isn't necessarily good enough to always have a great connection. I'm going to look into everything that I can do to make this better, but bear with me for the time being. I will speak to Jose and see what we do about this. And perhaps we will schedule another session where we can go into this, because I know this is something that a lot of people get confused about. So I will speak with Jose and correspond with you guys accordingly, maybe through the emails if you're part of our Trade with UFOs community, as to how we're going to do this moving forwards, and whether or not we'll schedule another session so we can cover this. So thank you, Paul, for chatting with me and letting me know what's going on and what you're